Now we're moving on to number 3, which is going to be a wonderful game against the Commanders in the Giants. What a game this was. And it is the first time in pro football's Pro Football Top 5's, not pro football in general, Pro Football Top 5's long, illustrious history that there is a tie. The most unsatisfying form of sport ever to exist. Let's look at the stats. But it still deserves it. Division matchup. These two teams, both 7 wins, 5 losses for the Commanders, 4 losses for the Giants. Wow, that's a really late bye week. Week 14 bye. What the hell is going on? Either way, Heinicke drives on the field in the 4th quarter, gets the touchdown with just a minute 45 left. Beautiful passes, beautiful plays. Terrible on 3rd down by both teams. Heinicke makes plays, man. He makes mistakes, but he gets mediocre results, and people need to respect him more. That Daniel Jones with an oddly satisfying line here. 25 for 31, 200. They also don't have anyone else run it, and Jones just impresses me more and more every time with the way he runs the ball. He can run it. He's not just a quick runner. You know, I know he's pretty fast. He's not super fast, but he's fast, right? And he's not going to run anyone over. And I don't even think I see him make like a great move to avoid tacklers in the open field or anything like that. But he's really good at reading the field when it comes to running. He knows where he's going, and he knows when to make the call and hit the open opportunity and take care of it. It's really impressive, actually. It's really, really impressive. And then he's got a decent arm. I don't know. We're getting to that point where they're trying to decide whether you extend Jones or not, and he does kind of reek of like a possible Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins type situation at best. And I think that would be a concern if I were a Giants fan, but they haven't been good for a little while, so you get a little bit more desperate, you know? It's been some years, and he's kind of working out. You're 7-4-1. There's no reason to really get crazy about it. But can he be Joe Burrow? Can he be Patrick Mahomes, Josh? Well, probably not either of them because just the way they play. But can he be someone like Joe Burrow? Can he be someone like that? He's older than them. It's hard to think that he would become better than them, considering that he's older than everyone but... 2019. He's older than Burrow, not older than Allen. Either way, they're I don't know. This game was just... It felt like two teams really trying to avoid losing the whole time. And then it kind of like they ran out of time. You know? Like they weren't really trying to win too much as they were trying to avoid losing. And they've both been getting away with some close games. And they've been getting so lucky. And it's like, all right, who's going to be the lucky one? The Giants have won some close ones. The Commanders have won some close ones. And the answer is none. None of them. And now they're playing Sunday Night Football in 2 weeks. On the 19th, I think. That's nice. It's going to be a good one. Get one more shot going to D.C. Play one more. Try it one more time. It's exciting. I mean, and it's exciting because these two teams, I picked them to just be nowhere near the playoffs. I think they've met their win totals already, and they have 5 more games left. And I guess I would say, you know, someone's got to win the next game, but technically not, right? The Giants finally get to play the Eagles. That looks scary. But hey, they tied the Commanders, and guess what the Commanders did? Beat the Eagles. And the Commanders have a time off. So the Commanders get this beautiful opportunity of having a bye week and playing the Giants twice in a row. So they get to continue to prepare. And I have a new... to get rid of ties, I have a new idea here. By the way, Terry McLaurin is great. He is so good. So good. Sorry, I have to give him just more praise. His quarterback's Taylor Heineke, okay? And he's good. As much as I love Heineke, he's very average. But he seems to be a champion. I think that they should do a double or nothing with this tie. Winner takes both. I don't want ties anymore. I want in-division ties. None of that nonsense. If you tie the first game, the second game decides both of them. Hey, what do you think? Throw in the comments. If you tie the second game, it's kind of like, oh, you can't tie. You guys, you lost the first game, so now you got to win it. No in-division ties. This is stupid. Got a dumb tie between these two teams. They should make that decision. Give it to the team. At least that. Fine, we'll take ties everywhere else in the sport. But no ties here. Or, what about this? If you have a tie, and you're playing against a team that doesn't have a tie, and you tie again, you lose. No, you don't get 2 ties in a season. That's nonsense. That's ridiculous. Because it's just, I don't know. I also love the field goal idea, just kicking field goals until you win. Further and further distances, see who wins. Or the way they do it in college, it's just doing a 2-point conversions back and forth until they win. And one thing that's nice about that is it wouldn't bloat the score, so they wouldn't count as touchdowns, they'd count as 2 points. So they just keep getting 2-point conversions as opposed to, like, can you imagine if it got to that point and you had players like, Mahomes and Allen, I guess, and they were doing 2-point conversions from the 2-yard line, and it's just like touchdown, 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 touchdown. Next thing you know, the score's like 82-73, and they both have 8 touchdown passes because they just keep throwing them because it's only 2 yards and they're great quarterbacks, or only 3 yards and they're great quarterbacks. I don't know, something like that. So you would want to avoid at least the point scoring, and then that could go on for a while. I don't know. Overtime is frustrating. But I hate the tie. It's annoying. And they punted 4 times. Did they kneel out overtime? Not kidding. No. Right. The Giants did get a decent shot at a field goal, 58 yards. And Gano has been really sure-footed. I feel like he nailed lots of 50-yarders. I don't know how he was short on this. Just straight up short. They got in position. Maybe you just give it to the Giants. Giants kind of won the game, right? They knelt out at halftime, though. Or at the end of the game. That one makes sense. They couldn't even score at the end. I don't know. The tie is just such a disappointing way. It's disappointing for everyone that's not fans of the team. You're a fan of the team, you're at least a little like, oh, well, at least we didn't lose, right? You have that conversation, at least we didn't lose. But for everyone else, a tie is just so ugly. Well, let's see. The Giants play the Eagles twice. They have a hard go of it. Then they play the Commanders again, obviously. And then the Vikings and Colts. That's a tough stretch for the Giants. They can have this really close game with the Vikings. It's obviously going to be close because all the games are close. Every Giants and Vikings game has been close, so they should be close against each other. If the Giants blow out the Vikings, it would be hilarious. It wouldn't even make sense. And then they got Commanders. They're really, the Giants are really going to need to take at least the Commanders game if they want to make the playoffs after that tie. They'll be 9-7-1. If they take the Commanders in the Colts game. Colts are not a very good team. They should be able to do that. But they're going to need that to be able to make the playoffs. It would help if they could take one from the Eagles. Good luck. And they might. I would be confident with them against the Vikings. I wouldn't just write that off, obviously. As it goes for the Commanders, this Giants-Commanders game is huge because I think that Giants-Commanders game will probably decide who goes to the playoffs. The Commanders have less games, and they already have an extra loss, so that doesn't help them. They have to deal with the Browns, depending on Watson. I think they could win that game. And if the Cowboys are resting, maybe 49ers will probably beat them. And then they have to... The road looks a lot easier for the Giants, not just because they have one less loss, but because they have an easier schedule as well. They got Commanders, like the Commanders Giants, or the Giants are probably the worst team. Maybe the Browns that they play, but neither of them are the Colts. So we'll see if the standings hold up. I believe they're both still in. No, Washington is out. Seattle took the spot, and Washington is out right now. So they're going to have to figure it out. Really, there's no one else, though. Then Detroit is 5-7, and Atlanta's 5-8. Green Bay's 5-8. Those teams are probably not going to make it. So it's really just Washington, New York, and Seattle. Dallas is much higher in. And, of course, Tampa Bay. Oh, Atlanta can try to get in from Tampa, but that's about it. It's playoff season. It's in the hunt season. A lot to talk about. These two games, the playoff implications of this game, especially it being a tie. If the Commanders win, it just gives it to them. If the Giants win, it really gives it to them. They'd be 8-4. They'd be sitting pretty because they're still in a better position than the Commanders with the tie. So the tie helps the Giants more because it kept the Commanders down. But if they just won this, that would pretty much, it would almost kill it for the Commanders and really help the Giants solidify. Either way, let's move on to the next game.